What's up? So, I was watching this YouTube video one day, and the dude was talking about how, and I'm always finding different information. So, this dude was talking about how the soul or the spirit, whatever you want to call it, is still and it's comfortable and it's at peace. And it's our mind or our ego that tends to want different things that cause, friction within our life. So, say for example, right, like the spirit is chilling. Like, as long as it got food, water, shelter, whatever, the spirit is chilling. It's us who has now put these thoughts of like money, 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 car, 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 car. And so because the spirit is chilling, right? It's like whatever you want or your desires or your interests, it bounces off the spirit. And if it's causing the spirit stress, like the spirit just like your soul just bounces it right back to you. Like, I'm chilling. So the goal is to do things that resonate with your spirit or your soul, right? So for instance, right? Money, jewelry, cars, whatever should never be the motivator, because sometimes you could look to get those things, right? So you're like, yeah, I want this nice car at any cost. But the way in the route that you're going about it is causing your spirit to feel disrupted, or it's causing your spirit to feel diseased. And that's where you get the word like disease from or whatever, etc. So you have to make sure that it aligns with your peace that your soul wants, right? So for instance, say I'm like, I want to make $1 million next year, $500,000 next year, whatever it is, right? If I'm just like, yeah, money, 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 and the spirit's like, this, the way you're moving, there's no peace in how we get in this money. But if you start saying things like, I'm making $500,000 next year, I'm making $5 million next year, or $1 million next year, and you resonated with your spirit, like, yes, if I obtain this money, I'm able to have my spirit more at peace because I'm not stressed out about when my next meal is going to come. My son and I, or my daughter and I, my family, we could go to different countries more freely, and we can get more in tune with nature, and therefore that will bring me more peace, right? Or if you like, yo, I want this bomb ass car, you have to do it in a way that's at peace with your spirit. So maybe having that bomb ass car, that's a reflection of the fact that you've reached the wealth that you wanted to reach that allows you financial freedom. And so when you buy this car, it's another sense of peace because it's like, yes, I reached my financial wealth goals that I can buy this car. And so your spirit is at peace. But if you skip, listen, steps 1 through 15, right, of saving, making the money, and then being comfortable, for me, Range Rovers are my car. So if you be comfortable in that Range Rover, right, in order for you to really be comfortable, you shouldn't have to feel like, damn, I gotta make this car note. Damn, I gotta go hustle to do this so I can make this car note. No, you should be in your Range Rover, chilling peacefully, because you know that you have so much wealth built up that when you drive in this car, your spirit's at peace. So your spirit is like, yes, this is our car. Like, we have to do things that align with our spirit and our soul. So if my spirit is chilling and my spirit wants peace, and I got this family member who's rah, 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 rah all the time, right? It's like, I love you, but the spirit only makes sense of it if it's peaceful. It should not be disturbing you. So that's why sometimes we constantly have friction within our lives, right? Because the spirit is simple. Our soul is simple. It just wants the simple things in life. So when you're in a relationship, right? And you're fighting with this person, you're fighting with this person, you're fighting with this person. That's most times your ego or your head getting to you. But your spirit and your soul are like, I could do without this person. Like, it ain't that serious for me. So what's happening is when you're trying to fight with this person, right? Things keep coming up that cause chaos in your relationship because what you're going through is not resonating with your spirit. So it bounces off. Like, your spirit is like a wall, right? You try to throw something at it to stick, and it's like, boom, nah, I ain't feeling that. So it bounces back at you, and then all of a sudden you're like, why am I still having these issues in my relationship? Why am I still having this conflict in my relationship? And that's because what you're doing ain't resonating with your spirit, and your spirit ain't about to move over to allow this chaos to come in. Your spirit's like, no, we're not doing that. And it's like, bye. And it bounces right back off. Even if it's a job, you go into your job every day, and you like, damn, all of a sudden my boss is on my back, or this is on my back, da da da. Maybe that job ain't resonating with your spirit. Maybe that job ain't resonating with your soul. And so you have to make sure that you're doing things that align with your soul, even if it's the road less traveled, even if there's no guarantee of what will come in it. You have to do things that resonate with your soul. And sometimes, I'll speak from experience, you don't know what's at the end of that road. You just haven't, like, it resonates with your spirit. That's all you can know. I remember when I got into social work, right? I had someone tell me, like, you never gonna make money. You never gonna make money as a social worker. And I put it in my head, like, I've always put in my head, like, I got money. I'm gonna make money. I'm gonna figure it out. And so now I had that person circle back around to me, like, yo, the way you're moving, you may make more money than me. And so for me, it's like, you got to do things that resonate with your spirit. I know for me, I remember I went to, when I was in undergraduate school, and I was in college, and I went into college. I was like, yeah, I'm about to be a biochem major. I'm about to be a doctor. Da, 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 da. And, I'll keep it 100. When I was in college, I like to party. I love to party. Bustle wine. That's my thing. So when I was just having a difficult time, I'm like, damn, this chemistry stuff ain't really sticking with me. Like, this biology stuff ain't really sticking. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to write it out. But once I heard that my classmate, he dropped it, and then my classmate, she dropped it, I was like, hold on, let me look into me dropping this, because it ain't just me. So what really nailed it for me is I went to go talk to my advisor, and he was like, if you really want to succeed in biochem, you should stay in on the weekends and read the periodic table. And I had to be real with myself. The periodic table ain't that popping to me. It ain't, for no disrespect to anybody who gets a kick out of it, but it ain't it for me. Like, the periodic table just don't do that for me. So I made a decision right then and there. I was like, no, I got to drop this. I have to drop this. And then I ventured into something else, and then I found what I loved. And I didn't know where it was going to take me, but I knew every day that I was in that classroom, I was alert, because the stuff that I was learning, it resonated with me. It made me feel good. It made me feel like, yo, I want to go to class. There was time, you could ask my former roommates, where it's like 2 weeks and they like, damn, are you going to class? And I was just like, I don't feel like going. But if something didn't resonate with me, I'm that kind of person. Like, there's only gonna, like, it gotta feel right to me. If something don't feel right to me, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, if it don't resonate with me and I'm just like, something don't feel right about it. For me, it may be working for everybody else, but for me, it's like, it ain't working for me. And that's why we have to be careful about going against our soul and listening to our intuition. And I know sometimes, because we've been through so much trauma, it's hard to get still and listen to our intuition. But the closer you could get to it, and it's not going to be an immediate gratification, right? But the closer you could get to it, you could start making long-term plans so that you feel comfortable about the position that you're in 5 years ago. The position I'm in right now, I started planning for it 5 years ago. And I didn't know. I remember I was in undergrad. My pops passed away. We buried him on, I think, a Sunday. That Monday, I was in a job. I was working 40 weekends. I was working 40 hours on the weekends. My roommates, I remember them being like, damn, you always working. I was working 40 hours on the weekend. I would leave from... I would do Fridays, I would do a double. So I would do like, I made sure I did it so I had no classes on Friday. So I would do a double. I would be there from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Saturday double, 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. Sunday overnight, 11 p.m., 7 a.m. Then I would drive back to campus, the overnight. So from the overnight, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., I would drive back to my overnight, to my 8 a.m. class, straight from my overnight shift, and be in class. And if they called me for overtime, I would get it. And so I didn't really get what I was doing. I was just like, yo, this money is right now while I'm in undergrad. My pops just passed, so, we got one income in the house. I was getting it. Didn't have no time to mourn for my pops, really, because I just got into grind mode. I'm like, the thing that got me is when my dad was on his deathbed or whatever, he was like, yo, promise me one thing, you'll never stop going to school. And I was like, all right. So in my head, I put it like, I gotta afford these books, I gotta afford this, I gotta move like that. So I just put it in my head. And so I didn't know that fast forward, mind you, my pops passed in 2010. So fast forward 9, almost 10 years, I'm in a position that I wasn't even, like, everyone would ask, like, damn, you working this hard? The dude I was with, I was helping him out. He need groceries at school. I was bringing him groceries on Valentine's Day. I was Louising him out, poloing him out. And I didn't get it. I just had a different grind. And people, while they were, doing what they do, I just had a different mindset. So now, fast forward, I'm looking at my student loans like, damn, I have to pay these loans. And so I called, like, yo, these loans is a little crazy. They're like, have you been in the health service, the social service field for more than 5 years? I'm like, yeah, since 2009. They're like, oh, your loan's gonna get taken care of. Just pay on them for this amount of money, and then they'll forgive you for all of them. And I was like, what? Oh. And ever since then, like, any job that I had, because they saw the kind of work I was doing at that time, they're like, oh yeah, we want her, because the work I was doing was tough. So I could have went and did anything. I could have been doing anything, but I always did what resonated with my spirit. And sometimes you just gotta. You don't know what to expect. You don't know what the outcome is, but always do what in line with your spirit. And you may not get it at the time, and you may not comprehend it at the time, but don't just do what everybody is doing just so you could get by. Do what's really for you and what really resonates for you. Like, I know right now we in this whole Black love movement and Black love this, and do I want a dude to come home to at night and hold me down and touch on and feel on and all that? Yeah, I do. But I'm not about to just jump into any old relationship because there's buzzing that everybody's getting married, which is beautiful. But I'm not about to put myself in that position where I'm unhappy. I'd rather wait. Whether it's I'm 31, whether it's I'm 30, 32, I'd rather wait because I want to be in a situation that's secure for me. So a lot of times we having friction in our relationships, in our home, and with our car, at our jobs, with our children, because what we're doing is it's not in line with what our spirit and our soul wants. And sometimes it's a trickle down effect. Like, I remember one time I was working with this youth, and I was talking to her mother, and I was just like, you got to get some order in the house, because she's seeing the dysfunction and she's playing off the dysfunction. So if she sees that she could get away with moving like this because there's no order in the house, she will. So we started off with the daughter, right? And then the mother was making progress. So she's like, oh my God, Regina, I'm making so much progress. Then we got to, like, she had to get her marriage in order, because it's like one big circle. Like, your children doing good, your husband doing good, your house going to do good. It's all a trickle down. So I'm like, so we started getting to the husband part of it, because, family dynamic impacts the child. So family, what I do is in-home family therapy. So I'm working with the child and I'm working with the family, because it's like, you're going to have to change some stuff up in this house if you want this child to do different. Okay, boom. So we get to the husband part. She's like, he ain't getting on board. So she's tussling with that situation. And lo and behold, like 2-3 weeks later, I had told her, if you don't get on board with that, I've seen where it starts to trickle back down and the child goes back into reverse. So 3 weeks later, that child was going back into reverse, because it's a trickle up effect. She had to get everything in order. And so sometimes when your spirit may be wanting to work, or your soul's working into one way, but then when you reach something that doesn't feel comfortable for you, right? Like, you start trying to go into reverse, right? But your spirit's still like, nah, this ain't it. So then your children start having behaviors, work start not working out, because your spirit is not at peace. And it's not until your spirit is at peace that you will then have that clarity to see where you want to be. And I'll give you a quick thing, right? So this woman, I love her. She's my sister. Shout out to Pam or whatever. We was having a conversation about just manifesting thing. And I was like, yo, sis, where should I start? She was like, if you want that car, say you want that car. You want that house, say you want that. So I started on a deeper level. I was like, I want my mind, body, spirit, everything. It's in line. It's getting in line, right? Lo and behold, a week later, one of the 3 main relationships I have issues with in my life, something happened and it revealed to me what I need to know, and I cut them off. And ever since then, my spirit's just been like, oh, good. But I didn't want to do that because I love those people dearly, but I had to do it. And so now I'm in a space where I see things coming together for me, and I see signs that it's a good move that I make, but I'm still hesitant because I'm like, yo, it's uncomfortable. But lo and behold, my spirit feels at ease. And so now I'm starting to reap the benefits of it. So lo and behold, let your spirit drive. Let your spirit, like your soul, drive. Let it do its thing and listen to it, because in the long run, you're going to be benefiting from it. Have a great day.